Test. What is going on, YouTubers? It's the 9th of October, year 2025. Both at Australian Eastern Standard Time and local Northern China time. So just like to make a live stream. Just like to make a video prior to my trip to Hong Kong. Well, via Shenzhen, I will have to cross a land border between the mainland and Hong Kong. Since I have to make some changes, kind of unwanted changes to my original plan. Since they have unfortunately sold out the tickets of the high-speed train. So I had to, kind of sadly, buy airplane tickets instead. But yes, however, that will not fundamentally change my main mission in Hong Kong for this trip, I suppose. So according to my clocks, it's currently 19 p.m. At American West Coast time, maybe around 12 a.m. in New York or East Coast. So yes, as a result, I don't really expect a lot of you guys out there to show up to tune in to this stream. But nevertheless, I just like to pop up to say hi and to kind of record to document the whole vibe and my mental outlook at the moment. Yeah, so I hope my new haircut still looks presentable, relatively speaking. Yes, I did cut my own hair before I went to renew my Hong Kong ID locally, via at a automatic kiosk. And yes, unfortunately, the officers there, they I beg your pardon. they do not ask questions as to why I had to renew my Hong Kong ID and what's the purpose of the trip, so on and so forth, and blah blah blah. So yeah, it's speaking, no questions asked, which made the whole as smooth as silk, I suppose. Yeah. So yes, I just some moments ago, yes, I booked my hotel to stay at, for 3 nights. Yes. Um, just maybe maybe after this trip, I may pay Macau. I may pay Macau a visit. But that's I would need to I would need to schedule it at a later time. No rush with flying to Macau, since I would be just chilling and wasting my time there. Well, I suppose you know for the for the most part, I guess, since Macau is quite small. Unfortunately, it consists of a peninsula and a tiny island. Um, it's much smaller than Hong Kong, much smaller than Singapore. While whereas Hong Kong has roughly a land area 3 times of Singapore. Yeah, but I haven't been back to Singapore for such a long time after high school. After I completed my A levels there. Yeah. So yeah, I suppose this trip will mark at least a milestone, a watershed, indicating that I have, well, or at least so I imagine that I have managed to overcome, you know, my past trauma to a considerable, to a fairly noticeable extent. Well, at least I guess so. Hopefully, you know, that's assuming I make my way there to back Hong Kong and be back here at my grandma's flat in one piece, safe and sound, with the mission accomplished. Yeah, but I don't really, like I said in my previous videos, I don't really, plan to make, you know, a lot of friends there. But the main goal is to film some, videos to 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 document my trip, um, forth and and back and forth. Yeah, and of course, also to buy some coins, some fairly, cost-effective silver coins. And yes, I will show you. I will show, what I buy there. At least to some of you guys, most in particular to my beloved patrons, mostly, I guess. So yeah, expect to see something new. I consider that a promise. Yes. Though I can't promise that I will be making a lot of friends there. Like I said, I don't tend to socialize that well, and I don't really particularly enjoy mingling around with loads of strangers, of people, namely loads of entities. So yeah, but we do something new, something flashy, though not necessarily something fancy schmancy or fancy schwancy. Yeah. So yes, so I've just got maybe one last um, one last ticket book before I can make my way back to Hong Kong. Yes, that is the train or a metro ticket from Shenzhen International Airport, to Futian or to the land, the two, one of those two checkpoints situated at the land, um, situated at the land um, crossings, land borders between the mainland and between mainland China and Hong Kong. Yeah. Actually, that part, I consider that part most challenging to me, since I have never done so um, before solo. So yeah, that says I will have to do some homework beforehand. Yes, but other than that, yes, my path to Hong Kong is pretty much all clear. Maybe in the worst case scenario, at the time I landed at Shenzhen airport, I might just book a taxi. I might just call a cab, call a taxi. But that may cost an amount of deer. Well, quite likely, yeah. Since I don't know, since like I said, I never done so before solo on my own. My previous trips to Hong Kong, was accompanied by my old man, but since he's now gone, I have to count completely on myself to safe and sound and be back here, safe and sound in one and with the mission accomplished. Yeah, and yes, there will be some yes. Well, according to the website, to the event host's website, they outlined, a list of, a list of vendors, a list of coins vendors, and apparently, there will be some, at least one, antique coins vendor from 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 I beg your pardon. Apparently, according to the event host website, there will be at least one antique coin vendor from I beg your pardon, from across the sea, from across the east coast of China, the country across the east coast of China. So I may have some opportunities to practice my, my lousy Japanese and some Cantonese. Yeah, I beg your pardon for my intermittent stuttering, but I still hope that, I have made my points clear, and in particular, the main goal of this mission clear, crystal clear. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, and I just finished, doing my laundry. Although the local weather still seems quite foul, it is still drizzling. So I pretty much took a risk in which I may have used my hair dryer to dry up my clothes upon the time of departure from my grandma's flat to Hong Kong. Yeah, yeah, but we shall see. And yes, after this live stream, I suppose I will be having some food for lunch, and yeah, and then take some breaks, maybe a nap, and then clean my rooms, blah blah blah, and yeah, and think about what I'll bring to the new to the numismatic event I scheduled myself to attend. Questions or or doubts to clarify or whatnot. Now is the time for Q&A. And yeah, also, of course, placed some countermeasures against the possible intrusion or invasion of that wicked woman into this flat, into this only place of residence I've currently got. Yes, I bought, well, last year I bought, some, a few, sensitive light globes that automatically switch on, once the ambient light condition starts to dim, starts to get dark, and then automatically switch off once once the sun begins to rise. Yes, so hopefully that can at least well, trick that wicked woman into 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 thinking um, into into thinking that I am still here. So yeah, that I hope can at least um, prevent her from not exactly not exactly although not exactly trespassing into this flat, but intruding or invading my place, my only place of residence. Yeah, my only place of secured residence. Yeah. So yeah, and then yes, while I am in Hong Kong, I suppose I'm gonna buy some gifts for my adopted old man slash one of my uncles often who often looks after me. Namely, some some cigarettes. Since he is consuming sweets and smoking. Though yes, I'll try to find something. Um, in well, speaking of smokes, speaking of cigarettes, I'll try to find something less harmful, less less um, you know let less or less hardcore. But in case some of you guys smoke, please give me some suggestions or advice pertaining to which brand I should buy while in Hong Kong, as gifts for my adopted father, adopted old man slash one of my uncles. Yeah. Yes. Well, since I myself don't smoke at all, so I know next to nothing about which brand of cigarettes you know are the most and the most and at the same time most cost effective. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Other than that, yes, I guess I will all make some make some purchases of some local snacks, local food. You know, maybe some local local. Well, I don't suppose I can bring some local fruits all the way, all the way, all the way back here. Due to the customs or the import policies of the mainland. Unfortunately, yeah. But I can still, at least, bring dehydrated nuts. Yeah, I suppose dehydrated nuts, and not sure about canned coffee. Yeah, but I will see. I'll see what I can do. And and yes, I might be able to even, I might even be able to, to send snacks from Hong Kong to you out there. Maybe not to America, but due to the the ongoing sanctions and tariffs imposed against the whole the whole China, including mainland and all together. But I suppose I may be able to at least send some small gifts, some snacks, namely some snacks and accessories, clothing, accessories or small souvenirs to the UK, namely or to Great Britain, to Europe and to Japan. Yeah. So yeah, in case some of you guys out there want some souvenirs, small souvenirs or snacks from Hong Kong and mainland China, namely Shenzhen, please let me know, and I will see what I can do. Yeah. Feel free to let me know, and I shall see what I can do. So yeah. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for this live filming session. So in case you guys have more questions or doubts to clarify, please um, please post them below this video, or send me a message via 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 time messaging app, such as you know WhatsApp or or um or or see or blah blah blah, or just inform me, and yeah, and I shall see what I can do. So yeah, thank you very much for tuning in, and please consider smashing that like at the right hand side of this video, and please also consider subscribing and having a look at my buy me a coffee page for some exclusive updates and contents about antique silver coins, and some other types of knowledge pertaining to numismatics. So yeah, thank you again for tuning in, and if God's still willing, see you around on YouTube, BitChute, Rumble.com, and see you guys again. See you guys in Hong Kong a day one later. So yeah, see you guys in Hong Kong the day after. So yeah, until next time. Cheers. Stay far from weak and stay out of trouble. Bye. Cheers.